Chuckle Brewers. Another piece of kit has arrived. The big boy Hopcat SS 62 litre 14 gallon conical fermenter Pro. As you can see, it is quite a large box, bigger than our other ones. We already have two of the normal 35 litre machines. So without more of ado, let's get on with a little unboxing, a quick site review. I've got some BrewSafe and ChemSan ready for a bit of a clean. Usually what we do is we give it a soak in BrewSafe and then we give it a little wash down with soap and water, because a lot of them our original ones came with quite a lot of oil and well, metal work in there really. The taps and the trub tap need a bit of a drain, and we had some gunge in one of them last time, so it didn't work. Wow. So first thing to say is, there's not much paper in there, the lid certainly looks bigger. See if I can get this out in one go. Oh. So, a little bit undignified. Oh, wow. It looks like the legs are already attached. I think the last time we bought one of these, I thought the legs came separately, but obviously not. Oh, the trademark awful feet rubber. Wow, so far, so good. More tape. How much you can see it gets. That's quite nice and shiny. Slightly better fit than last time. Basically, it looks like it's the same sort of height as the previous model, but stockier and sturdier. Thermometer has to be fitted by the look of it. These are a lot bigger, the catches on the lid. And the bore is no free now, which I guess makes sense, you have a wider lid. Some slight scratching where the catches have been on. Oh, that catch has become detached from the grip thing, which is alright, it's easily fixed. Wow, so quick review of the inside. A few scratches in there. Lid looks good. All smells very chemically. There's the what's it comes with, the bubbler. So yeah, the lid actually, that feels really solid compared to the others. Right, internally I would say, apart from being a bit dirty, it's about the same standard. There's lots of obvious weld marks. Let me just take this off. As you can see, there are little weld marks wherever the handles are marked on. They're obviously spot welded from the inside. It's pretty much the same as our other one. There's no bare metal that I can see. It's quite nicely worked at the bottom. There's a few scratches down round by the tap. I don't know if you make those out. They look like they've just probably been made by something in the packaging maybe. Again, look, spot welds where the feet go on. Yeah, I mean, you know, you get what you pay for a little bit. I'd say this is about the same quality as the other ones. It's slightly better actually. I think the welds in our smaller ones were a bit more obvious than this. It's good solid stuff though. It feels like good. That dump valve looks a lot bigger. Is it bigger on the outside? That's definitely larger. The hole is definitely larger than the one we have in the other one. Where is it? Oh yeah. Now that is a much more seriously large valve. I'm quite happy with that, because the one in the smaller fermenter does take a while for anything to come out of it. Okay, right, so I'm going to start cleaning it, and I shall shall do another review once I've got some water in it. And the only thing I appear to be missing is the thermometer. Now what? That must be the racking arm, yes. That is the racking arm. Our previous one didn't have a racking arm with it. We got like the second one out of the factory and it was missed. So, okay, how's that work? Okay, just screw it in there. How does the racking arm work? Having never used one. Maybe we need to work that out. It's got two O-rings on it, so it's obviously meant to go in there. I shall maybe even have to read the instructions, which is a terrible thing to admit, but you know. There we go. I'm imagining that this is going to be our thermometer. Gosh. Oh. Yes. Right. Well, it's obviously, it looks like exactly the same thermometer we have in our 35 litres, and they are actually pretty accurate. We tested the original ones with some water and our electronic calibrated thermometer, and they came out pretty much bang on, almost identical in fact. So yes, it's already saying 36 degrees, which is more like the room temperature of this room. So I should be back when it's all in one piece and we can give it a wash. Here it is with its fitted thermometer. It's a 1/2 inch wrench, or whatever you call it, spanner. One tip when you do that, it says to take off the first 3 parts off the assembly, push it through, then put the first 3 back on. The confusing bit is that the rubber bung looks like one big thick rubber bung, but actually it's 2 little parts. So you split them apart, one goes in the outside bit, one goes in the inside bit. It seems a very sturdy fit indeed. Tightened it fairly tight, but not gone bad. Anyway, now to give it a rinse and then measure out how much I can get in it. Just a quick rinse to check for any obvious leaks, and then I'll do some measuring. Ooh. You can already see there's quite a bit of oil or grease on the inside of there, which isn't to be unexpected. Let's see if that tub trap works. Hey. There we go. So it appears that the beer tap is the same size as the beer tap on the previous machine, which isn't, as you can see, a very fast flow, but the tub trap is at least twice the size, so that's good, because you really do need your tub out when you're racking to keg or bottle. I'm just going to let all that out, and then I'm going to measure. With my handy 2 litre jug, I'm going to measure exactly how much water it takes. Add some brew safe, as my spanners. Add some brew safe, and then give it a good rest. Ooh, whirlpool action in the bottom. That's sexy. Let me just pick this up. Hold on. Oh. Look at that. We have a whirlpool. which point the card ran out of space, so I continued. 62 litres basically looks like this. As you can see, it was a little bit less than this. As you can see, there is about an inch to an inch and a half around the top. I'd say 62 litres, about an inch, I'd say about 2 inches in reality, which means that you wouldn't want to do an entire 62 litre batch, because you'd have no room for krausen, and yeah, it would get quite messy in the lid space and through the airlock. So but 45 litres, fine. 50 litres, fine. 50 litres is quite a good gap. So 62 litres, but aim for about 50. Yes, so I've now filled it full of brew safe, and it's fizzing away. I'll probably leave that for a good half hour or so, give it a good stir every now and again, then wash it out with some soap and water, and then finally put in some what do you call it? Chemsan. Yep. Just to give it that last sort of polish. Chemsan's more acidic as well, so it's good for the pacification of the metal. By the way, I can just pick it up when it's that full, and get it about 2 inches off the ground before my back starts caving in. It's extremely heavy when it's full. Definitely a two-man job to move that with 46 litres in it. Well, 2 man or 1 man willing to risk all. Thermometer seems to be performing okay. Water temperature is about 17 today, I think, something like that, and it's showing up alright. Just leaving the stuff to do its business. Yeah, good start. I'm quite impressed with it so far. I think it's a step up from our previous fermenters. It's been in there now for at least half an hour. I don't want to leave it in too long, as it marks the steel eventually. This stuff, it's quite scary. Makes your hands feel nice and shiny though. See how long it takes to empty now using the trub tap, which is, as I said before, a beast of a trub tap. Here we go. Right, so as you can see, you get quite a significant flow from the trub tap when it's full, which I suppose is understandable as it's got 60 odd litres of pressure behind it. So, a summary. I'm in the garden, as you can see, because kids are still off school and there is nowhere left in the house that hasn't got some horrible game-oriented screaming going on. So, in summary, I've washed it 3 different ways. I hope we've pacified it. I never quite know really what that means. The pros are it is enormous. 62 litres leaves you that sort of a gap at the top, which is probably not big enough for a proper brew. So I think 50, 55 litres easily in it, which is it's quite a lot of beer. We've been splitting ours between 2 35s when we did big brews. Pretty much better quality than the 35 litres. It's slightly thicker steel, I think. It doesn't say it is, but it seems to be. Again, there are spot wells on the handles and the lid clamps and the feet. They're a bit worrying when you first see them. I know we were very worried with the 35 litre ones because they were quite heavy, the spot welds in that one, but in this one they're very much smaller. And even though it looks like damaged steel, they don't seem to interfere with the brewing anyway. We've never had an infection, so it's always been okay. The other big pro is the size of the trub tap, which is considerably bigger, so you actually do get some volume out when you use it. Probably going to be a bit scary with real beer in there. It's going to be a quick on and off job because there's never as much trub as you think, apart from with David Heath's American Stouts Challenge, which we had the most trouble we've ever seen in our lives. It must have been about that deep at the bottom, covered the tap, covered the trub tap, covered everything. We spent about 5 minutes letting it out with our other machine. Clamps are good, very sturdy. I mean, it suffers the same problem as the 35 litres in that it has this, it has that seal in it which comes out very easily. After the first couple of times of using it, it gets a bit slack. Big tip here is you put a load of lube around there to keep the top completely dry. By all means, spray the inside of your fermenter, clean it, spray it, get it ready. Leave the top completely dry, put some lube in the gap, put in the thing and it holds, then give it a spray with your Chemsan just before you put it on the top, and it should be okay. It usually holds it in there. Otherwise it can be quite tricky. We've had a couple fall out on us during putting the lid on, but that's before we discovered the great lube trick. As you can see, it's now nice and clean, even though I've dried it. There's loads of water in it again. One impressive thing is the quality of the polish on the conical part. It has one or two little marks on it, but it's extremely smooth. When I was pouring in the brew safe, which is a powder, the powder was coming down, touching on the side of the conical and just flowing straight into the middle. It really is very, very, very smooth, and certainly with the small fermenters, the trub collects very easily at the bottom. We've never had, apart from with David Heath's brew, we've never had any trub problems at all. They've always collected neatly. The weld marks, again, you can see them, but I always think they're rusting, because you get sort of colours when you lean in with a red top on, it bounces off, but they're not, so no need to panic there. Right, so cons. It's obviously made to a budget. There are the plastic feet coverings that are a bit rubbish. You know, the quality of the finish is good, but not brilliant. Like I say, the spot welds aren't particularly lovely. Thermometer seems to be working well. Taps are good. I mean, for the money, I think it's pretty good value. It is filthy when you get it though. The amount of muck, shavings, bits of filings and oil that were in there. When we first put the brew safe in, pour the brew safe out, you can see finger marks and grease marks everywhere, which is why you need at least one stage of washing it with good soapy liquid, because nothing shifts grease like soap. And then we finished off with Chemsan, so it should be good. And that is my Hopcat Big Boy review and box opening. Hope it helps somebody. We shall be buying a second XB kit. I think it's Theakson's XB. I've got a 23 litre kit in storage, and going to need to brew at least 46 for this. So I'm going to get another Theakson's XB kit from the Worcester Hop Shop, which is good quality, reasonable price. Yes, hope this helps.